Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fernando Cabrera. I am the National Education Coordinator for Latino Tax Pro, and we are starting today with our regular instructor meetings. We call it Instructor Corner. We usually start this series early in the year, but we had so many of our clients becoming instructors that we had to do a lot of onboardings and meetings with them so that we can get them prepared for those to start their own school. So now that we are ready, we're going to start this. And one of the things that I noticed lately is that we have so much potential in our program that we want to extend a little bit more and give our instructors a little bit more of a opportunities to generate some extra passive income. So with hopefully you can share with us and become one of our instructors. So I'm going to start telling you a little bit about me. Hopefully, for those of you who don't know me, my name is, again, Fernando Cabrera. I'm the National Education Coordinator, and I've been working for Latino Tax Pro for the past 7.5 years, since 2016, 19 something. Anyway, so one of the things that I learned throughout these years is that sometimes the potential that we have is a little bit hidden from us or from plain view. You have to scratch a little bit to the surface so that you can flourish and do things that you were never thought possible before. Anyway, a few years ago, I was also teaching at a community college. I was teaching Spanish, and I taught about, before working here, I taught about for about 17 years. And then I started doing taxes and started translating tax law, and I became involved in Latino Tax Pro, and I decided to take a different route. And in every time that I try to move on from teaching, I always end up teaching again. Now I'm teaching tax law. I'm currently teaching a California 60-hour tax preparation or qualifying education, which is for beginners. And I love that. I love the fact that I can teach something that I am also practicing. It's not that I didn't practice what I was teaching before, but it became so repetitive, and that every challenge that I had was an opportunity for me to do research, to do practice, to change my style, my teaching style, to add more to my knowledge. And that was interesting for me. Right here is so interesting that I started having ideas as to what to do with our program. And one of the things that happened was COVID. So when during the COVID years, I was teaching 2 classes at a community college, and I was literally forcing to teaching that virtually. So I remember that at the beginning of the year, I was already able to teach online, but because I was working here, but many of my colleagues were not. And they started developing a lot of classes so they can instruct teachers how to teach online. And one of the things that came about was that they designed they came out with 2 different concepts. The first concept they created was, or not created, but surfaced, was the synchronous and asynchronous courses. That was interesting to me because the synchronous classes were virtual classes that follow the same pattern or the same format that regular classes did. It had a schedule, it had a time of the day, certain days for a certain period of time, and everything was done in virtually. But then they had the asynchronous, and the asynchronous is basically a self-study course in which the instructor was had to create all the components, all the learning components, such as lectures, record the lectures, create exercises, create exams, and monitor the exams while the students were taking it, sometimes online, sometimes, well, first only online, and then right now, sometimes they do it online, sometimes they do it in a classroom. So things started to go that way. So let me see if I can share with you this my presentations so that I can go over that and guide myself. Anyway, so I'm sharing that. Okay. And I have to. Okay, so now we're talking. So this is my presentation for this day. Like I was saying, a lot of people, my name is Fernando Cabrera. So a lot of people got a little bit of training in how to do this class. So the synchronous class were virtual classes with the same schedule, days, times, and duration. And then the asynchronous classes were virtual classes, no schedule. Like I said, the instructors had all the components, created all the components, and were available for students, usually by email. The different versions that they have created nowadays is that the instructor will have either one. Let me move this over here. They will have one day. They will meet with the students either virtually or in person, and in most cases, the exams or the tests will be taken in a classroom. But the more the people try that, I was working in the Silicon Valley back then, but now I heard that a lot of the school districts are not having that many in-person classes, and they are focusing more in virtual classes and synchronous and asynchronous classes. And I heard a lot of people talking about the impact that artificial intelligence will have in all of this. So I'm telling you all of this because when I see our program, I see potential. And one of the potential things is that regularly, we have the traditional teaching styles like in-person right now, virtual. We combine the virtual and in-person and create a hybrid course. And then we have the self-study. As you know, hopefully you have taken one of our courses with us. All of our courses are designed and built for self-study purposes. And the reason why we do it like that is because we started focusing first in selling our product. We didn't focus so much in creating a community of instructors that will teach that course for the students. We were trying to reach as many students, individual students as possible. So, but that gave us the ability to not only have a product ready for virtual classes, but also for asynchronic classes that I kind of changed the names. We don't call it synchronous or asynchronous. We call it instructor-led and instructor support. And I'm going to tell you what this is all about. So we have the traditional ways to teach nowadays is in-person, virtual, hybrid, and self-study. Okay. So thinking on that, in in-person class, you have the ability to be in a classroom. So you're in a space with the students, and you have interaction with the students in which you can talk to them, challenge them, you can inspire them, you can interact and ask questions directly. They will ask you questions, and the teaching and the learning becomes an active. I will say that the instructor and the students become an active participant in the teaching and in the learning. Sometimes people think that because you go to a class, an in-person class, the instructor is responsible for you learning. No, the instructor is responsible for imparting or presenting the lecture, and the student is responsible for learning and paying attention in the different ways. Of course, the instructor, the style of the instructor and the way that he or she delivers the content is really important for learning. You also do the exams in a regular classroom where you can see them, where you can see if somebody is looking at somebody else's exams and things like that. But mostly, I think that something that we all like, all the people that teach at any level, one of the things that we like is at the same time that we are talking, we love writing our ideas in the class. I used to have a huge whiteboard in my classroom. So what I will do is start writing my lecture from left to right. And when I was finishing when I was about to finish, I will stop and ask students to take a picture of that board, and I will also take a picture of that board, and then I will delete everything and start writing again. So I will complete that process three or four times during the day, during the class, and I will keep that as a reminder, as a learning tool. And then I will transfer my images or my pictures into PDFs and email those PDFs to my students, which is something really nice. We cannot, at the community college, we were not able to record that classes, but it was for me, it was amazing to be able to write everything and keep everything in order. In a virtual class, despite the limitations, you still have the presence in the students. In this case, it's a lot better if you do it in a meeting format, so you can see the students' faces, and even in the most extreme cases, you don't have everybody with a camera on, but it's an attempt, right? So you can reach, but with this one, with the virtual classes, you can reach a lot more students than with the traditional classes. Specifically for us, for tax preparers, it's incredible because you can not only just teach the students in your areas, but you can teach the students in your state and even out of state. You could record the classes and the students can review later. At this time, what I'm doing with my classes, I record it and then I add the video into their learning path so they can watch it and review it again as many times as they can. You can teach from anywhere, including your own home, and that is an advantage because you don't have to get out, drive like I was driving an hour and a half to teach an hour and a half of class, and they're driving another an hour and a half. So I was driving 3 hours and teaching for an hour and a half. So that's not good. And you have several options to stream in the class. And with these several options, I mean that you can use Zoom, you can use Google Meets, you can use Microsoft Teams, and you could even do Facebook as we're doing it right now. For this one, I love Zoom because it has more tools, more features that I use than the other ones. But Zoom as well has its own limitations, because if you have the free account, and if you have more than 3 people, then you could only do 45 minutes. But any of these will do good. And then the hybrids, you combine everything that you have from the regular class, traditional class, and virtual. You combine it into one. And it's amazing how proficient you can get in these classes once you practice for a little bit. So the self-study is completely something that the students have. But to create a self-study course, a good self-study course like the ones we do, you have to consider a lot of options, a lot of components. You need an ebook, right? So what we used to do in our company, we used to create an ebook with the entire book. So students will have to go back and open the ebook in their chapters, and it was a little bit too heavy, so it would take a little bit of time. So what we did is we broke everything. We broke all the components. We created parts. We had all of our chapters, and we did ebooks, smaller ebooks for every chapter, and then we separated those ebooks in parts. And when we did that, it was incredible because we were able to summarize each part and then create a PowerPoint from that part and then record a video. So students get not only an ebook, they get the videos for the content, they get quizzes for that part, and then they get an exercise in tax preparation that goes along with the topic that we are teaching at that particular chapter. Those exercises are interesting because they only focus on the information that they have. They don't, in some of them, they don't involve anything else, but they focus in that particular. For instance, the capital gains and losses, the depreciation, you don't really create a whole tax return. You only focus on how to calculate the depreciation for a few items in a different year. So what is the deduction for year 3, year 4, year 5? So that is an exercise. So it has a lot of components that can help students learn and retain the information. But one thing that I learned, I know I shouldn't say this, but I was doing a research by student retention at one point in my life, and one thing that I noticed, according to my studies, there's 4 main components that will ensure that somebody will complete their education or will actually complete everything that you get your hands on to do. So first thing is time management, so that you can understand, so you can manage your time. Identify the things that you have to put attention. What is the word that I'm looking for? Select what is more important. Then support group. You need somebody that has similar goals that you have. In regular students and traditional students, that support comes from family and friends. If you don't have friends that are involved in the same industry or in the same educational arena, you're not going to be able to make it, because the focus of the other individuals are not the same or not similar to the focus that you have. Therefore, time management and support group are really important. The other one that is really important is goal settings. If you don't have professional goals, if you're not determined to do something, and you create those goals and then make plans to develop those goals and do time frame to make those goals happening, you will never going to do it. The last thing that I want to mention is that you need a little bit or a level of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand one's emotion, learning to master those emotions, and using the knowledge to guide our behavior. So that means if you know what you want, then you have to set goals, find a support group. Sometimes in our industry, it's not hard. We provide that venue in Las Vegas. If you go to Las Vegas to the fest, every year we gather with about 3,000 entrepreneurs, business individuals, and regular tax preparers that want to establish those connections, that want to establish those guys, those friendships, those business connections that can tell you, look, do and go this way. So those are for us to be able to do that. So it's time management, support group, goals, and emotional intelligence. And for lastly, we want to talk about the actual juice of this presentation. I gave you all of this so that I can kind of set the stage for what I wanted to tell you. I think I said a couple of minutes ago that we don't call it synchronous or asynchronous classes. We call it instructor support, instructor-led, and instructor support courses. Okay, so instructor support courses are literally the self-study course in which you have all the components to study by you, and you have the time management. Let me go back a little bit. In this instructor support course, you have the self-study course with all the components. As I was telling you, in this case, compared to the asynchronous classes in community college and in colleges and other educational areas, you will have to prepare everything. In our case, you don't have to prepare anything. Everything has been done for you. The only thing that we need is an instructor. So you have everything that you could get in a self-study course. You also get time management, because you could you could use our syllabus. In your instructor program, we added a syllabus, and through that syllabus, you could create a schedule. You could, at the end, I put a detailed description as to what to do before each class and after the class. And that can be used for people that are taking the classes on their own. Okay. You could also do support, because you're going to be there for them to talk to. And you could establish, look, my class that I'm currently teaching, one of the students is really focused in getting this classes done. So what she did is she created a group. She started with her phone number. She shared her phone numbers and said, let's create a group so that we can talk and so that we can support each other. That is easy to do when you create that. And then you set those goals. In that syllabus, you can set those goals for the students and review their progress. Ask them, what are you doing? What is happening to you? Well, how can I help you? How can I help you achieve that goal? And for California purposes, it's a little bit different because of requirements. We have educational requirements that we have to comply with. For the federal, if you are outside California, then is the courses, I don't want to say that they're easier, but they have less requirements than California. For California, we have to complete a course, a beginner's course. We have to take three final exams. The first one is for ethics, that has 10 questions. The second is for California tax law, which has 75 questions. And the third one is for the federal tax law, which has 225 questions. I don't know if I calculate based on the fact that people can take about 2 minutes to read, understand, and answer that question. It will be for the federal purposes, you will take about 8 or 9 hours taking the entire exam. So I tell my students to start before. After chapter 7, you can start taking the exams. Little by little, take 10 at a time, maybe 15 at a time. Make sure that you answer correctly and keep moving on. For the federal, we only have chapter exams. Most of those chapter exams have an average of 6 or 7 questions. There's only one. Chapter 1 has 10, chapter 4 and chapter 7 has 12. The other ones have an average of six questions. So it is easier because of the number of questions are spread, and the final and the federal tax courses do not have a comprehensive final exam, including no chapter. So it's just chapter exams. Okay. So with that, the emotional intelligence comes with understanding your students and be able to answer promptly. One thing that I noticed, because I was working as a part-time instructor at community college for a long period of time. And one thing that make my students take my class every year, because sometimes I had 4 classes with 30 or more students every semester. One thing that make that possible, that make that recommendation, is that I always answer my questions, always answer the emails. I didn't wait a week like some other instructors. I thought communication, and I continue to think that communication with your students is essential. Not because, and I'm going to be honest, don't think in terms of time. Oh, I'm not gonna. My wife gets mad because I always have my phone with me, and I was always answering my emails. But I'm telling, that is what creates a sense of who you are, the ethics that you have. And in our case, in our industry, that support is essential, because those students are not only gonna see you as somebody who gave them the opportunity or who sold them the course, but they will see you as a mentor. And I've been in this company for almost 8 years, and I still have people who call me from my first class, or sends me emails asking me questions about what do I think about this, and I take the time to answer, and that creates a sense of responsibility, a sense of connection with other people. Anyway, in this case, like I said, let me go a little bit to this. Well, I'm going to finish with this presentation, and then I do the last thing that is going into the class. So what you need to do this class is a website. You need a website. If you don't have a website, we have a portion of our company. One side of our company is website design. So you can contact us, and we will help you create a website specifically for tax and accounting firms. We have been in the business for several years. Like if you can see my presentation right here, 1040, we celebrated 10 years of Latino Fest, 40 years for Lopez Tax Service. So we have been in this industry for a long time, and believe me, we know what you need for the website. You also need a payment system. If you have a website, check if your website have a payment system. Some of the websites have the payment system they have is by selling products. That is wonderful, because if you can sell your products, then you can identify your course as a traditional course. You can say virtual classes, in-person classes, self-study courses, and instructor support classes, and have a different price for each one of those classes. Of course, you need an email for that particular purpose. Don't use your regular business email when you have classes, because I have seen emails in which you have about, one time I saw one person with 3,000 emails, unread emails. You're not going to be able to keep track of your students if you use the same email. In my case, I usually handle about seven different email addresses for different purposes, and also maintain a list of your students. When you have the ability to do the products, selling products on your website, you will also have the different students who purchase the different course that you're selling, and that will give you the advantage of keeping track of who is in what class. And then if you don't want to do the whole thing, we have another option that we call co-branded website, in which we literally create a store for you. And in that store, you put your colors, we mark it, that website with your own colors, with your own designs and everything. You're just selling our course, and the only thing that you have to do is drive people to that website so that people can purchase the courses. And you don't have to teach anything. Those courses are strictly self-study course. Let me show you what I meant with show you the possibilities. So I'm going to stop this one right here, and I'm going to stop just so that we can finish this. Save, and let me go into our website so that I can. And I'm going to use our my instructor account so that you can see the possibilities. And this is what I want you to pay attention, so that you can, let me see, let me move this over here and come right here. Do I have? Yes. So let me share now. So this is which one? I think let me see, what am I sharing? Yes, so I think it's that one. Yes, I think that's the one that I want to show you. Let me see. I don't want to think that I close everything else. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Oh, I'm right here. I want to see if I can. I don't think I guess not. Let me see if I can put it right here and share that. Yes. All right. So now I know what I'm sharing. So this is what I mean there, and possibilities. If you go to your settings icon, which is the admin menu, you click it, and I'm still in my admin account. Let me go back to my instructor account so that I can show you what I am talking about. So when you are in your account, you go to your settings and click on course management. So these are the courses that you can sell or you can teach. So this is what I'm talking about. You have a lot of courses right here, and you will probably only use one, right? And what we have here is we have two divisions. We have the federal and the California division, federal courses, California courses, and within those, there's subcategories for beginners and advanced. And the first one is called, in California, it's called qualifying education, and the other one is called continuing education. But the federal is beginners courses and continuing education for those who have experience. So what I'm trying to do is create a program in which you could sell these courses, identify these courses in your website, and sell them either for instructor-led, instructor support, or self-study courses. Of course, this one could be done. You could also do this if you have one of our co-brandings, in which is literally a store. You don't have to, in this case, you will have to sell the product and then purchase the courses using buy seats. And then now when you buy seats, you can go into the course management, select users and select the students, click next, and then click confirm, and that will do it. From the time that you click buy seats to the time that you add the students shouldn't take you more than 10, maximum 15 minutes. So it will be a manual labor, but not so much that you will get tired of it. I'm going to develop my plan to maybe implement this for next season, because right now there's a little bit loose as to what to do. People need a little bit more training in how to do it, how to establish the different prices for the classes, how to promote their classes, how to integrate those classes or the options into the website. And remember, if you don't have a website, we do have a way that you can do it. Visit us to Latino Tax Pro. Just go to resources, and right there, website, web design. And this is what we create and what we charge for creating your website specifically for tax preparers and accounting firms. The other thing that we promote is the co-branding. You can go to programs and then select co-branding, and the co-branding is literally a store for you. You have all the information right there. I sent you guys an email yesterday. I meant to send it on Monday, but I sent it yesterday. Take a look at the information that I sent you. Send me your questions if you have any questions. Let me get back my PowerPoint presentation so that I can go all the way to the end and show you this information. Transition show from the current slide, and let me change the settings so that you can see this. So thank you so much. This is the number that we have, and this is the email. You could also send me emails. I meant to put my email is fernando.cabrera@Latino Tax Pro. And with that, I will let you go and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for participating with us, and we are done. See you next Wednesday.